My next guests are some of my favorite people. I love these two so very much. Please welcome Rob Younkers and Joe Z joining us through VI FaceTime. What's up, guys?
What's up?
Buddy.
Hi. Oh my, that was what an intro.
We've also got Dixie joining us, our dog.
Yeah.
Yes, they're adorable. Are you guys excited? Love, Simon, you know, a gay romance movie is coming to the big screen. I'm excited for this, you guys. How excited are y'all?
We're super excited. You know, when I first heard about this, I was like, where was this when I was a kid?
I know.
You know, I wasn't a kid that long ago, but this is really new to bring a story like this to the, you know, to the...
Yeah, no, we love it.
Limelight.
I agree, because there needs to be more movies like this. I love that it took till 2018 for Love, Simon to be really part of our pop culture zeitgeist. So, come on, let's do more. I'm glad that Greg Berlanti got to do it, because it really is like a big, huge deal.
Yeah, and Nick Robinson, too. He's leading this film. I mean,
Yeah.
It's epic. And also, you know, this is actually making history, because this is the first film ever released by a major studio, which 20th Century Fox, you know, is the company that's releasing it, to feature a gay teenage romance movie. So, you know, how did, you know, this kind of make you guys feel, knowing that they're putting a spotlight on the LGBT community?
I think it's incredible. You know, like I said before, for me as a kid, the opportunity of having a teen romance, it didn't exist. I felt very much alone where I was growing up as a gay kid. And I think, you know, when you put something out into the world that says, hey, this is happening, this is real life, it kind of builds acceptance, which is incredible.
Exactly. And I think what Greg really did well with this film, and all the filmmakers, of course, was the idea that, like, this character, Simon, is just your everyday high school kid. There's no gay cliches. There's no, we're not playing into any of those stereotypes that I think the world has of the LGBT community. So I love that, because he's just an everyday awkward teenager trying to grow up and go to high school. Oh, and by the way, he's gay. I love that.
Yeah. I think this is a good time to release a film like this. You know, I think it should have been released, we should have had a film like this before now, but I think this, at the time period we are at right now, I think this is a great time to release it.
It's so great. And like Joe was saying, you know, to have a kid who's just a kid who happens to be gay, I think a lot of times in the media in the past, people want to put the LGBTQ community into boxes that they feel are digestible to them and understandable, and almost become caricatures. But to say, like, okay, this kid is this and that, but he's also gay, it just makes it another quality about him. It doesn't completely define him.
I agree, and you know, and it's really, I think what you were saying, it's just a high school movie. I think it's more of a high school coming of age movie than it is a gay movie, because nobody would ever say, "Oh, we're doing a movie about a high school kid who's straight, so come see this movie." You know, and I think we're moving in that direction. Where, like, it is just part of him, but it doesn't make him all who he is. And I think that's what's so great about this particular movie.
You know, the most important thing is it's a sweet love story movie as well. So I have to ask, Joe, Rob, how did you two meet?
You know, I don't think that you know this story, but I know you're gonna love it.
Okay, I'm ready.
About 7 years ago, about exactly 7 years ago, Joe was filming a show. He was hosting a show on the Sundance Channel called All on the Line with Joe Z. And the premise of the show was Joe would go and work with struggling fashion designers to rebuild and relaunch their businesses. At the time, I was a designer working for a struggling brand. And, you know, the boss of the company came and said, listen, I know you're a Parsons professor, and this is reality TV. What do you think? I said, oh, you know, let me watch the show. So I watched an episode. I said, he seems like a good guy, and I do want your business to succeed. So let's go ahead and audition for the show or send in a tape. And fast forward, we did that. We were cast for the show, and Joe and I met. Hit it off right away. People, it was kind of cute, you know, people would be like, where's Rob? Where's Joe? They'd think that we were, you know, off creating some crazy scenario for this reality show, and we were just talking about, like, cooking and dogs. And, you know, and a cliche that, you know, the rest is history. We've been together ever since.
Yeah, 7 years later, the showmance continues.
Oh, well, y'all are a cute couple. I have to say, you know, before we came on air here, I said, you know, Rob Younkers and Joe Z, hey, we could get a theme song.
Don't all people meet their future husbands on TV shows?
Yeah. Yeah. Was it ever hard for you both to come out publicly, you know, about your sexual orientation? Was that ever a struggle?
For me, you know, the struggle was really being a young person. I don't think it matters whether you're coming out to your parents, your friends, or in front of, you know, the media. It's a very personal and private journey. And luckily for me, my first sort of go on TV was a show that was hosted by myself and 3 other openly gay men. So that felt like a great platform. But I think, you know, coming out of the closet per se is an idea that I wish would actually sort of evolve into something where it was just not in or out. It was just a period of self-discovery and acceptance. So yeah, absolutely I struggled as a teen. And, you know, at this point I wouldn't change that. I just try to make things better in the world that I'm in now for other kids going through a similar struggle.
Yeah, I mean, I think I grew up in a different generation. I mean, I grew up in the 80s when I was in high school. I think all teenagers struggle with identity. Not just being gay, but just identity, period. I think when you're a teenager, and it's hard, you're trying to find out who you are, you're trying to find your place in this world, you're trying to define something individual about you, but at the same time, trying so desperately to fit in. So yes, I think the biggest part of coming out for me was not really a public thing, but really to myself. You know, I think there was so much self-hate, there was so much self-doubt, there was so much self-ignorance too about what it was. There was no Simons, there was no internet, there was no anything. There was no Will and Grace. You know, there was nothing that you could actually watch and latch onto and say, hey, I'm not alone. There's actually someone like me. Because you know what? At that age when there was nothing else, you were alone. You were the only person that was like that. And that's why there is great things with movies like Love, Simon and all these amazing television and pop culture references that are out there right now, because it shows everybody growing up that you can be this person and hey, it doesn't make a difference at all. And that's what I love. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, all of that part was the hardest, I think, on a personal level, accepting it then. Publicly, I mean, I work in fashion. I think they would be surprised if I wasn't gay.
It's a very accepting, industry. You know, I think, you know, in thinking about this film and where we're at, I would love in 15, 20 years, 10 years, people can look back and say, I remember that film. It, you know, it brought something out in me. It made me feel okay about myself, and that it's one of many to come. And like you were saying earlier, Noah, it's, you know, it's not just about a gay story. It's about love, and being a teenager, and being, you know, awkward, flirtation and awkwardness, and getting to know who you are. And I hope that it becomes, you know, a reference point for people to say, oh, that was the first one that started it getting into mainstream, and stories just being about people.
I'm done living in a world where I don't get to be who I am. I deserve a great love story, and I want someone to share it with.
Love, Simon is out right now in theaters. Rob, Joe, thank you so much for joining me. This was a lot of fun, and I hope everyone will go see Love, Simon. Plug out your socials, Rob and Joe, so they can, so everyone can stay connected with you guys.
Very easy, at Rob Younkers.
At Mr. Joe Z.
Yep, look at there, you guys. Easy peasy. All right, Rob, Joe, thank you so much.
Anything for you.
Thanks, Noah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.